What's up, YouTube babies?
It's keeping us on our toes, man. I was
I
gonna do like,
know.
how long is it gonna take? And it was immediate.
It's YouTube time. But so man, what's some YouTube news you want to talk about?
Well, we could talk about how atrocious the NBA finals are going.
Yeah, I mean it's not what I expected.
Yeah.
The Florida Panthers are a winning though.
What's the series at?
I think it's 1-0 right now. I think they might be playing tonight.
Who made it through? Was it the Stars?
Oilers.
Oh yeah, that's right, the Oilers. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
Couple of good teams there.
Yeah, my money's on the Panthers. But like part of me, like if it was NBA and it was like the team that had the next LeBron, I'd be like, yeah, the team that's got the next LeBron, the rest will help him win. But since it's not NBA, I'm like, I'll go with the Panthers because I think they're the better team.
We'll see. I mean, I think they probably are too, but Connor McDavid could just,
Hmm.
fucking throw the stick around his head and throw it from full ice and score a goal. So you just never know.
Jake, just so you know, I know you've watched a lot more hockey than me, but just so you know, throwing the stick does not give you a goal. You have to hit the puck.
Context clues, buddy. Come on now.
Like, I don't know. You can throw the stick like a boomerang, and that's 10 points, right?
That's how I played hockey.
How was the concert, man? By the way, I saw the picture on Facebook.
Yeah. Facebook.
Instagram, that's all the same. I saw it on our old MySpace.
I would rather use that than Facebook.
I don't know. The worst thing in the world was like whenever you would be in the computer room at, like a mom and dad's computer room, and I'd click on it and someone would be like, "You're just such a sexy bitch," or, like a song. I'm like, "Oh my God, I gotta turn this bullshit off, man."
Oh, you mean
Like,
like the songs you could pair to your
yeah,
page? Yeah.
yeah. It's just like, why does everybody on my friend list have the shittiest taste in music?
It sounded like you were doing Crazy Bitch by Buck Cherry right there.
That's the one. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh man, that's funny. I know, and it was so embarrassing whenever you got bumped from someone's top friend spot. It's like, man, what
Yeah.
did I do? Did I make you mad?
I was just like, why? Like, Tom, you've been my number one since I first got here, and I've never once sniffed yours.
Hmm.
What's going on? And then he just never replied to my messages,
What a douche. What a
right?
douche. Real quick, man. What's your take on the WNBA and Caitlin Clark and all this stuff that's going around with her?
I mean, so I like last, or it would have been this year even. I saw a video of Caitlin Clark getting slightly bumped into by a fan. This is when she was in college, and she went, "Oh," and then like nearly died. And then she was afterwards like, the fans need to be more responsible, even though she was the one that actually ran into the fan. So I think Caitlin Clark's a little dramatic at all times. And I also think, I don't know, were you watching the NBA Lonzo Ball's rookie year?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Because like when he was entering, LeVar was talking so much shit. And then in that process then of hit all of his shit talking, all of the grown ass men were like, "We are gonna embarrass this child," and then they did, and it's like, and like going into this with Caitlin Clark, I'm like, yeah, they're building this girl up too much, this child again, too much, even though she's like a little bit older because she was making money in college, but building her up too much, and when she gets to being around actual like women that are women athletes, and they're gonna be pissed because everyone no one's talking about fucking Brenda, the fucking basketball player. Like no one's talking about her. So they're gonna be pissed and they're gonna play fucking rough. And it's like, sure enough, that's what's happening. So really not surprising. It is what it is, you know. I think
Yeah.
it's dumb that people are making it about race or her sexuality, though. Like that's one of the
Oh,
stupidest
like The
things.
View. I saw the shit they were
I
saying.
see. I didn't see that, but I've seen posts online where people are talking about how it's because she's a white straight girl in a league full of black lesbians. It's like I don't think that's the reasoning.
Well, no, the one that The View said was one, it was about race, but then it said that she had white privilege and also pretty privilege.
I mean, I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean this as any disrespect. She does not have pretty privilege in my book.
No. And that's not to say that she's unattractive in any way. Um, but come on. Like, what
Yeah,
a thing to say.
yeah. And it and then people will be like, the only reason why she's getting all this hype is because she's white and blah blah blah. It's like, no, it's really just because she plays like Steph Curry. That's it.
And also broke like a bunch of records.
She broke a bunch of records, but like, I mean, I don't know if we would have been talking about it if she wasn't playing in a exciting way. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like if she was like down in the post and just like Tim Duncaning it the whole time, like just doing like a turnaround bank shot, no one would give a shit.
yeah,
But
yeah.
since she plays basically like a mini Steph, it's like, yeah, people are gonna be talking about that. She doesn't play defense at all. So it's just like, yeah, this is what she does, and that's the hot thing right now. So it's like it works, you know. But I don't think she's got the personality to be really marketable at all. Like she just seems
Probably
like I'm
not,
gonna
but
get
at
shit
this
done.
yeah, yeah, but at this point they have to just, double up on her
Hmm.
because she's getting people to go watch these games.
Exactly. I mean, it's fucking crazy because like the amount of games that the I guess the Fever, which by the way, WNBA, I'm just gonna this is off subject, get better team names because holy
Hmm.
shit. I get like that you don't want to copy off the NBA, but it's like you could do better than like the Fever and then like the Light Gust or whatever. But
Yeah, there's some
like
bad names.
the Fever, they like had to upgrade to a different stadium because so many people are wanting to see Caitlin Clark, which I'm like, that's awesome. Like, good
Yeah,
on her. But
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah. I don't
just,
know. It's I saw Burr talking about it too. Um, and he was like, it's just so classic that they would be like, "Oh, nobody watches us. Woe is us." And now everybody's watching them, and they're like, "What's the first thing they do? Tear down the person that made it so that
yeah,
everyone's watching you."
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna say it's, lady thing more than like, because with guys, they play rough, but they're not gonna be actively like every time they're talking going, this piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting times. Alrighty, guess we can start our actual episode
Yeah,
now.
really quick though for the YouTube heads. If I don't know, if this gets 100 videos, we'll go to a WNBA game with Caitlin Clark playing, and we'll both wear Caitlin Clark Fever jerseys.
Hell yeah. Also, to answer your question, concert was great.
Nice.
I was like, wait a second, we never actually talked about that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Callum's getting handsome. He might be beating you for the most handsome boy in the concert award. You might be getting second place, man.
We'll see about that. But also, yes, he's a very handsome man.
I hope he's listening.
He's not.
He gave us 4 stars because he didn't want to didn't want it to seem like it was
Like we were that good.
yeah. He's like I don't want people to think I'm just giving you like privilege because you're my friends.
Pretty white privilege. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the MCU to my questionable choices. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
Got my tea, got my comics. I'm ready to pod, baby.
Is it sleepy time tea or is it a different type?
Actually, it's sleepy time extra.
Dude, that sucks because by the time we get to the Fantastic Four, you'll be like, yeah, man, I'm beautiful.
No, 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 no. I pretty much have this every time we do this.
Okay, sometimes you have like some booze.
Well, that's true. Also,
You're like, well, there's booze in here too.
no, it would not be good in this tea. It doesn't really make me tired. It's just whenever I get to sleep, I usually stay asleep.
I gotcha. Now I
Yeah.
got a question because you are the tea man, the coffee boy, and the booze boy, but I don't know what coffee. You're the
Just call me the
coffee.
beverage boy.
You're the beverage boy. But except for soda.
True.
I'm the soda Sam of the group.
You are.
But what would be like because I know like just regular black coffee and then like you can toss booze in there. That's good. But what type of tea and like booze combo is best in your opinion?
Absolutely. I have a number one question or answer that doesn't take any thoughts for me. There's a place here in St. Louis called Narwhals, and they specialize in uh like frozen boozy drinks.
Okay.
And there's one called the Bourbon Slush, and it's just like bourbon and black tea and whatever else they put in it. It is fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on, man. That would you have it hot? Because bourbon's like one that you can have hot too, like because I
Yeah.
mean it's a like a
So,
whiskey, right?
yes, if you've ever heard hot toddy,
I have. That's why I was knowing like because I was like,
yep.
no, whiskey can be hot.
Yeah. I'm sure bourbon would be the same thing. Also, uh people will do like in the summer, they'll do bullet whiskey and iced tea as well.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of tea and booze combos.
Yeah,
Mostly involving whiskey, but
yeah. I'll do a like a Ham's beer microwave, like the whole can.
oh yeah, go on.
And then I'll just, put that like I'll do that and then I just get a soda, like a Dr. Pepper, and I
hmm
mix them and I just down it.
A microwaved can of beer and a Dr. Pepper. We call that
It's
the Casey Morse.
no, it's called Dr. Hot Ham. Come on.
Speaking of, I know you've always been about that DP. I see that they have taken second place from Pepsi. Did you see that?
I have. I'm not surprised because I think Pepsi like people are like against Pepsi and Coca-Cola right now because I guess they give money to Israel or something. I don't really pay attention to most of that because I'm like, oh, we shouldn't give money to either of them. But
Yeah.
it's like we have homeless people. We probably just shouldn't be giving money overseas. But so I guess a lot of people are boycotting Pepsi and Coke, but since Coke is just like, you know, just way
Coke.
ahead, yeah, it's like it's what Dr. Pepper doesn't have a chance of getting past them, but there's like they're kind of like sneaking in for now, and then when people find something new to be upset about, they'll go back to drinking Pepsi, I guess.
Yeah. So you've already mentioned I don't drink soda.
Yeah,
If I do you remember what it is if I do?
it's grape soda.
Mm-mm.
What is it?
Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay.
Um, and that's usually like if I go see a movie at the theater,
Oh
I'll
yeah, duh.
I'll do a little treat and get myself a Mountain Dew.
Now, does it like just as someone that doesn't drink soda? Does it ever like when you like get the movie theater soda, you're like, "Whew," like the first sip, like does it kind of like hit like knock you
Yes,
back?
that Shannon Sharp meme, like that's me.
Yeah, nice.
Um, and then usually I'll feel like total shit afterwards,
Yeah,
but sometimes you do that for a little treat, right?
yeah.
So that's why I don't do it very often. But
Well, because like I switched to diet soda, and anytime like I've had it a few times since then, I've switched. Like I'll have like back to regular soda, and I'm like, I don't like this anymore. Like it tastes so different. I'm like, ugh,
yeah,
no.
and that's probably how you felt about diet soda the
Oh
first
yeah,
time you had that too.
100%.
I'll uh I'll sneak a sip of like if my lady and I go through McDonald's. Like usually if we do like
Hmm.
a road trip, we go through McDonald's. That's about the only time. And their Coke really is different. So I'll sneak a little sip of that. Uh but dude, if I were to drink a Dr. Pepper or a Pepsi, I'd I would not be having a good time.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper is way too spicy, and you know what I mean by that. Uh
That's like the whitest sentence ever.
no, but dude, it like I don't know. Like you drink that and like the inside of my mouth is just like fireworks. Uh and then Pepsi, number one, I don't really care for the taste that much, but two, I can like feel it on my teeth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I
Like it
get that.
just it
It's
has a
this
weird mouth feel.
it's the same way with like regular Coke. Like I like Coke Zero, but I'm not a fan of regular Coke really. And it's so weird. I wasn't a fan of Pepsi for the longest time. And then I had it like Pepsi Zero. And I'm like, and it's gonna sound like the weirdest thing, but it, like just unlocked like a nostalgia thing in my brain. I'm like, this tastes like Pizza Hut when I was a kid. And I'm just like I can just picture like those like weird ice cubes that Pizza Hut had,
Yeah.
the really
Yeah.
great ones. And I'm like, I like Pepsi now. You win.
Yeah. I can do I can do like a frozen one, but if we were to talk about a soda that really unlocked a memory for me, it would be like RC cola.
Oh, dude, I loved RC, but because I used to always get it because it was like a little bit cheaper than Coke and Pepsi, but now it's like damn near the same price. So it's like, oh, the add, the $2 off or whatever that it used to be like added to the flavor, but now it's like it tastes the same.
Yeah. I I truly don't think I've had an RC cola in like 20 years. Like
Yeah,
I think I remember what it tastes like, but I'm sure if I had one, it'd be like, ooh, this is
yeah,
not what I thought it was.
yeah.
But that's just what my dad used to buy all the time. He always had RC cola.
I used to get the RC cherry, and it was so good.
Mm,
Dude, there's this one soda. This is the SodaCast.
it
There's this
is
one soda called Spreckers, and like you can get it at Aldi, and then but like the normal places that like you always see it are like Menards and like Farm and Fleet has them and stuff. But if
so
you,
random.
yeah, but they have a cream soda and a root beer that are just so fucking good, like super sweet though, because they make it with Wisconsin honey.
Mm,
But it's like if you're just like, I just want a dessert soda. Spreckers.
yeah.
It it might since like you haven't had you don't really have soda very often. It might fucking knock your hair back, but it's really good.
Yeah. I think root beer is really good in general.
I,
Root
I do
beer's
too.
tasty. But anyway, so welcome to our comic book podcast.
We need to
But
like every one of these comic books. I will tell you guys the soda to pair with
nice.
it.
Like a sommelier
Yeah.
of soda and comics. Um, it's okay that we went down that rabbit hole because the news was abysmal this week.
Yep.
Um, but first, the first thing I wanted to do was give a shout out to Eric. He's a good buddy. He shops at my shop. He listens to this podcast. He went on a trip this week and he picked me up a little present and dropped it off on Friday. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's pretty cool. It's a Joel Jones poster of
Dude,
Barda and the
that's sweet
Female
as hell.
Furies. Yeah, so pretty dope. I love Joel Jones. I love Barda. So anyway,
Did he get that at a con or just out in the
uh
boot?
He was at some shop out in the boot.
Oh,
I
okay.
forget where he said he went. And also I shouldn't give away any of his private
Yeah.
information like that. But you know, it's always fun to check out a new shop when you're traveling somewhere and able.
Hmm.
So anyway, very cool. So Eric, thank you again. And then the only bit of news that I have this week, um, and it goes in with our intro. Marvel, I know that they talked about it already, but they're moving forward with the Wonder Man show, and they're eyeing 10 episodes for the first season. Um, let's see, they cast, I'm gonna just butcher the hell out of this name, so I apologize, people. Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
That's probably better than I could have done.
He uh he was in the Watchmen show. I guess he was also in Aquaman.
Hmm.
So
He would he because I've not seen the Watchmen show, but was he Dr. Manhattan in that?
let's find out.
That show, like I've heard mixed things on. It's one of those things where it's like I don't know if you Watchmen fans
Oh,
like
he's
the
Black Manta
oh
in
shoot,
Aquaman.
okay. Because yeah, like I don't know if the Watchmen fanboys are like just against it because it's like a something that's not Alan Moore Watchmen or if it's like actually bad, that type of thing.
So
So
my friend Drew, who's been on the show before, is quite literally the biggest Alan Moore fan that I know. He loved the show.
okay.
He said it was awesome. So, you know, like with anything, I guess you just
Hmm.
gotta watch it for yourself, right?
Yeah. My one thing is like I started it and then it starts with oh, I think it was Tulsa where like the race killing in Tulsa where like the white people got all mad and killed a bunch of black people and it starts with that. And I'm like, boy, this story just makes me really depressed. I don't feel like watching this right now. I turn it off and I never watched it again. I don't have Max
Fair
anymore.
enough. Fair enough. I do need to watch it. He played Cal Abar.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he was in 8 episodes though, so that must be a main character.
Yeah.
Anyway, I liked him as Black Manta.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's definitely a competent actor. My only question is, why the hell are they making a Wonder Man show?
Especially since we haven't even seen Wonder Man yet.
Yeah, I
Like
know.
it'd be one thing if it's like Wonder Man's gonna be introduced in, the new Captain America. I think that's the next one coming out, right? They're like
Yeah,
outside of Deadpool and Wolverine.
yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, he's gonna be in that, and then he's gonna get his own show. Then it's like, yo, yeah, well, I'll see this, I'll be introduced to the character, and I'll be like, oh, this guy's cool. I want to, see more. But like, we don't have anything for him yet, and it's like Marvel was supposed to be cutting back on like dumb shit that they're doing, and focus on quality, and this just seems more like more of the same quantity over quality type stuff.
The I agree. And the only other thing that I read about this, um, well, we got a showrunner and a producer. So the showrunner is Andrew Guest. Don't know who that is.
It sounds like a familiar name.
And then
Google it really quick.
producer, director Destin Daniel Cretton. Um, but the only other thing I know about it is that Sir Ben Kingsley is going to be reprising his role as Trevor in this show.
Yeah.
So that tells me it's probably going to be dumb as all hell. But
Yeah. Oh,
anyway,
Andrew Guest worked on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
okay.
Well, he also worked on Hawkeye too.
On what? I'm sorry.
Hawkeye.
Oh, Hawkeye. Okay. Which that show was good. But anyway, we'll see. But it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I just don't care.
Yeah. I mean, that's the problem is they're taking a C-list character and then they're like not giving you anything on them. And then they're expecting people to care. And it's like we need a reason to care. And they think they still have all the good faith that they had from,
Phase one.
yeah. Well, because it's like people were still super high. Like we weren't, but people were still super fucking high after Infinity War. And like
Hmm.
they had this built up faith that they could just do stuff with, and they made a lot, a lot of bad decisions. And, so I don't think it's a good idea.
What was do you remember what the first thing that came out post Infinity War was that maybe questioned our faith?
Well, for me, when I just was like, yeah, this is getting too dumb, I was before Infinity War. It was Civil War. That's when I started really going
Well,
downhill.
right. But there was like a decided, like both of us are like, this is no more.
I think, well, because I think for you it was Ragnarok and then Infinity War. You were after that, you're about done. But I was like,
Yeah.
I was okay with Ragnarok, or no, not what is Ragnarok was the one that I watched, right? Because then there's the newer one,
Yeah.
Love and Thunder.
Love
Yeah,
and
Love and
Thunder.
Thunder is the newer one that you were already out on before it came out, and then it came out, and you're like, yeah, no thanks. Uh, but like, yeah, I'm trying to think. The Civil War really had me just going like, this is stupid. Like they did such a bad job with this, and then after post that,
Okay.
like,
So right after Infinity War was Ant-Man and Wasp, which is whatever, but then Captain Marvel, which in my opinion is one of the worst MCU movies.
Ant-Man and Wasp is fine. Me and Bree saw that in
Yeah.
theaters.
Yeah, totally fine. Um, and then Endgame, uh, yeah, and that's when we got all in 2021. We got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals.
Black Widow, fine but forgettable. Shang-Chi, fine but forgettable. Eternals, I didn't watch it because you
I
couldn't pay me
did.
to read a fucking Eternals book.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, if you'll kindly repeat your phrase.
You couldn't pay me to read a
No.
Eternals book?
Fine, but forgettable.
I gotcha.
But then we got Multiverse of Madness, which they followed up with Love and Thunder. So boy, was it just a flat line, super high, and then it just tanked.
And then what about the shows? Because we also got Wanda and Vision, which we both liked.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was the Captain
Yeah,
America Winter Soldier.
Falcon. Yep.
Oh, Captain
And
Falcon America Winter Soldier. Captain Bald Eagle and the Winter Soldier.
yeah, we got those two and Loki. All with
Okay.
all oh, and Hawkeye, all in 21.
Oh, damn.
Um, man, they were cranking them out in
Yeah.
2021. And then 2022 was Moon Knight, which I liked, and Miss Marvel, which I did not watch. And then She-Hulk, which started strong but ended with a huge what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Um, but then we got the Werewolf by Night special, which was so fucking good, and they haven't done shit after that. Not another special with Moon Knight, not an, or with Werewolf by Night, sorry, and not another special with any of the other 70s Marvel horror characters,
Yeah. I
which
mean,
is a crime.
they really should have. And like I know we're complaining about oversaturation, but doing like a one-off with like since you did Werewolf by Night, the next one was Man Thing, because I know he was in it briefly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then do another one with Elsa, because she was in it too, right?
Yep.
All right. And like just do that where it's like, these fun one-off characters do fun one-off things, you know?
And then hear me out, at the end,
They
a
all
legion of
kiss.
monsters.
Oh, yeah, what you said.
Yeah. But for real, it's like just just do what you did with all the phase one Avengers with one shots of these characters, and people are right back in, you know?
Yeah. All right, so guys, let us know down below what you think. Do you think we're being too harsh on the Marvel? Do you think Wonder Man's going to be awesome? Do you think Wonder Man is just a male version of Wonder Woman? Who knows? That was like a fun little joke in that what if that I always talk about. It was like, what if Wonder Man and Power Man were both women? And then like Stan Lee like is in front of it, like, we can't do this joke. Our lawyer said we can't.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, so I don't have a lot of like big news either. I was actually gonna let Jake have his be the final bit because I think that's probably the biggest news, but who cares? Um, Grant's. Oh, I'll do that. I'll do Grant's news last. Michaela Hoover has been cast as Cat Grant in Superman Legacy. So
Okay.
for
Who
all
is
the
she?
Cat Grant heads out there, that's exciting. She's just like the girl that the big thing that I know her from. I don't remember which book it was in, but she was like she hits on Clark really hard. She talked about getting
No, no, no,
surgery.
no. I know who Cat Grant
Okay.
is. I don't know the actress.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
but she's been cast as Cat Grant. Um,
Because Supergirl works with Cat Grant, right? Like when she
the
does the reporter thing too?
maybe.
She did in the
I don't
show. I guess I
okay,
don't know if that's
I don't read enough Supergirl.
okay.
So, but and then Variety has come out and said Taylor Swift will not be in Deadpool and Wolverine. And it's like, okay, maybe. I mean, like the fact that Variety is reporting on it kind of has me going like, maybe she will be in it. It's like
Maybe.
it's a bit weird because it's like it's the same thing as like Andrew Garfield isn't going to be in the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
We promise.
Well, here's what would be a little confusing about that. As someone who's married to a gigantic Swiftie, I know a lot more than I should about Taylor Swift's schedule.
Hmm.
That girl, that woman, has been touring nonstop for like a year straight.
Yeah.
I don't know when she would have had time to go film some of this. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's like, would she really want to between stops on a world tour?
Well, the thing is, it would be like it'd be a cameo. Blake Lively and her are white girl besties. So it's very much just I have a feeling it'd be like, yeah, let's get our makeup done and hang out, Blake. And then Ryan's there and then has like says two words and gets literally $1 billion of Swifties to go see the movie. And then he'll be loud and obnoxious like they were with her movies that were in her movie that was in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And then Deadpool breaks all the records.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because yeah, I don't see her like starring at all, but I could see it easily just being like, I'm Dazzler. This is dazzling. Okay, bye. Like just something that simple, you know?
Yeah.
And then lastly, Grant Sputore is the next director of the Monsterverse. He did a movie called, I think it was Mother, which I've not seen. And I'm not like, as long as he can do fun fight scenes, I'm not too worried.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
That's the news. What'd you read this
So,
week, buddy?
okay. I read I Hate Fairyland number 15, Godzilla Rivals, Mothra versus Hedorah, Ghost Rider Final Vengeance number 4, Batman number 148, Scarlet number 1, and Bear Pirate Viking Queen number 2. What
I
about you?
read uh Ninja Turtles Alpha, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, #1. These comic
That's
titles are as bad as
yeah, I was
animes.
about to say like that sounds like an anime that you would be watching.
Masters of the Universe Revolution #1. Birds of Prey #10, and Bear Pirate Viking Queen #2.
All right, I think I got just one more than you, so I'll start up. So I Hate Fairyland, issue 15. Um, I'll pair this with a I really don't know. Uh, but this is by Scotty Young and Brett Bean on the art. They, are fighting those Gert gremlin things, and then she gets knocked out by the goat boy from the earlier issues, and they like come up with a way of beating them, and it's turned Gert into a kaiju. So
Oh, well, that's pretty fun.
yeah, and so then she kills them all. And then like afterwards, she's like, "Yeah, that was cool, but isn't this like couldn't you have like used all the magic and science and stuff to do something that's like a little bit smarter than just turning me into a giant monster?" And they're like, "Yeah, but this is cooler." And she's like, "Yeah, fair enough." It's like, yeah, I don't know where this book, like, what the hell this book is even doing. I really don't. I said that last week, and I'm still like, yeah, I don't know. I don't fucking know. It just seems like that they don't know either. They're just doing kind of stupid stuff that's fun, but yeah, it's fine. It's probably a 6. It's like, yeah, you pass, but you're not knocking my socks off like you were.
It's in a slump.
Yeah, it's got the oh, what is it? The senioritis where it's like, yeah, I was doing really good my freshman year, but now just coasting.
Hmm. Did you want to do another
Now
or
I'll let you go, and then
okay.
because I think if we do, since I only had I think one more than you, it'll just go back and forth, and then I'll do the last one. Then you take point on the Queen Bear one.
Alrighty. Uh Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alpha. It's written by Jason Aaron, with art by Chris Burnham and Brian Reber. And then there's another story written by Tom Waltz with art by Gavin Smith and Rhonda Pattison. Um, so Chris Burnham, I think, does a pretty good job of making this look like the old Mirage stuff, which I think
Okay.
is what Jason Aaron wanted out of this. I think there was an interview where he said he liked the old Mirage stuff and wanted to pay homage to that. So I know Casey's gonna read this, so I don't want to spoil it too much, but I actually liked how this began. It was weird, and I have a feeling that the first issue or two is gonna be pretty sad. But it'll be good. Um it was just, and the cover says this, but the whole story is about Donatello. We didn't see any of the other turtles in it. And then the second story is called Monster Island, and it's about, oh, let me find what they're called. Is it the Mutanimals or whatever?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, Mutanimals, which like that skateboarding lizard and those guys were all part
Yeah,
of.
I gotcha.
Um, and they're led by this cat in a trench coat with an eye patch, um, whose name is Old Hob. But yeah, the story is just about the mutanimals forming, I guess, for this universe. And they're either gonna get just a one shot, like an oversized one shot, or maybe a mini series in September. Sorry, called TMNT Mutant Nation. That's probably not one I'm gonna pick up because like the story was fine, but I'm not picking up a book for the mutanimals when I don't know shit about them.
Yeah, like you're just getting back into the turtles. It's not like, Unless
Un
that would have to have been like really fucking good to make me go like,
yeah,
I'm a mutanable head now.
right. Yeah, I'm just dipping my toe into turtles, not taking
Yeah.
the full dive here. So but the character designs were cool and like the story was fine. I'm not mad that I read it. So yeah, I'm gonna give the book overall. I'm like between 6, 5, and 7. It's like I really like the Donatello story, but that's less than half of this book.
Yeah.
So
That's less than half. That's really annoying.
yeah, like the Mutanimal story, like we're talking this right side here is the
Oof.
Mutanimal story. So you got me, Jason
Yeah.
Aaron. You got me.
I like to think Jason Aaron's open. I was like, fuck, they went all in on mutanimals. Okay. So Godzilla Rivals Mothra versus Hedorah. And this is by Josh Trujillo and Joshua Cornillan on the art. And like, so a lot of times I'll complain about like background stuff, like them not doing things well, but this one does a good job because it's like they have it set up at a party. So like or like a street fair. So like the
Hmm.
lights are drowning out the backgrounds, and they do that in a smart way. So at least it's like when the artist is like, I don't want to draw a whole background. It's not just like, oh yeah, the back seat of this van is a square. It's not that shit. Like I had that one issue.
Or just nothing.
Yeah. So like basically there's a Mothra fair in this city and or on this island, and there's the two twins because of course, and then they're talking to their grandma and all that stuff, and the grandma kind of basically tells them like, I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna take my medicine because it's like it can mess me up and I'm just gonna die. And that's okay. And then there's also like our other main character is this billionaire who's got cancer, and he's not near as stoic about it. He's putting all his money into figuring out how to save himself, and he gets a thing from outer space, and he says like, inject it in me. That's gonna fix it. And so they're like, well, hey, you're getting better, man. It actually worked. But then the grandma dies, and the one of the sisters is, like kind of like, oh man, I'm so unhappy. I'm not gonna be working. And then the other sister is like, I'm gonna get a job at this billionaire's factory place. And she's like, I can't believe you're there. And she's like, he is like 90% of the job market, and we need to eat, you idiot. Like like she doesn't say it in such a mean way, but it's like, come on, think about it. And so he just keeps injecting himself with little Hedorah, and then he just gets chest bursted basically, or arm bursted, and
Who
Hedorah
could have
pops
seen that
out.
coming?
Yeah, right. And Hedorah pops out and just starts eating people and you know toxic waste and stuff, and kills a bunch of the people there. And I like this stuff is like this art here is very simplistic, but I think that stuff works so well with Hedorah.
Hmm.
Like if that was King Hedorah, I'd be really disappointed.
Yeah.
But this it just works well with him. And then this also made me laugh. Have you ever seen the Lo-Fi Girl?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I listen to her often actually.
yeah. I'm like I like that. That gave me a little smile. And then like so the two twins go to like Mothra house basically, and then they start singing, and Mothra shows up and she fights Dora, and then she beats them. But what is Mothra known for doing when she fights somebody? Fucking dying.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant during the fight.
No. And so, yep, she dies. But then there's an egg. So it's like, oh yeah, doesn't really matter. And so yeah, I mean it's is perfectly fine. It's not worth $8 by any stretch of the imagination.
When are they, dude?
No, you're right. But this is better than like most of the ones we've gotten. The main downside to it is like this is just like this monster could have been any monster. It didn't really like Hedorah is like the whole point with the Hedorah movies. The one movie was pollution. don't touch on pollution really at all in this book, which it's like, I guess it's fine, but if there's ever been a time to get on your high horse on pollution, a Hedora book is the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that's like a knock, and then the price is a knock, but everything else is pretty solid. Like if you see Jake at a con and he has it on his, and you could probably talk him down to like $5, it'd be worth that, I would say, because it's a chonky book. But $8 and he tries to get you to do full price, say no, thank you, sir. So I'm gonna go with a 7.
Alrighty. Next I'll do Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, #1 by Jerry Dugan and well, if I can find the darn page.
If it was an anime, it would have had to have the guy being like, I used to wash the dishes at Burger King and now I'm, and then then the title. Like you have to
Falling
have
in
like,
Love on the
yeah.
Path to Hell. Yep. It's by Jerry Dugan with art by Gary Brown. Uh, it was a pretty neat, very weird story. Art's pretty good, but the short of it is like a cowboy outlaw from one period in time and a lady who was trained as a samurai at the time that samurais were like done and being killed off, all get sent through this like mystical storm to the same place with monsters, and a another gentleman shows up and he's like, "Ah, welcome to nowhere. Uh, we got to team up to fight the monsters." And it was pretty neat. We're gonna see just, I think, different warriors or soldiers from different walks of life throughout this series maybe team up to just kill some big old monsters on this island. So, which could be pretty cool. So yeah, I liked it. Solid start. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Right on, man. Alrighty, so Ghost Rider Final Vengeance.
Vengeance. He hates vans.
By Benjamin Percy and Danny Kim on the art. Um, yeah, it's just like there's more of the same where the hood is like going around, taking over crime stuff. He's doing stuff with the Ghost Rider, and he's got his old vampires with him, and then Johnny Blaze. And I really don't like, I've read enough Ghost Rider, I should know who the heck this guy is, but old dude that's with him that saved him the last issue is there, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna help you, and so they're heading to Chicago, but then there's stuff that stops them on the way. It tries to fight them, but yeah, Johnny's like, I'm still heading to Chicago, which, it's never a fun drive. But yeah, this is a fun book, fun issue. It's just more, like I said, more of the same is the one downside to it. So for that, I'm gonna give it a 7. Like it's still, Benjamin Percy just does dumb fun well.
Mm-hmm. All right, Masters of the Universe Revolution, #1. I wasn't sure I was going to pick this up, but then I saw who it was written by. Casey, friend of the pod, Timmy Shares.
Ooh.
So he scripted it. Pencils are by Daniel HDR. And I want to show you the cover by Dave Wilkins because it's fucking rad as hell.
That is awesome.
Um, there front and center is Hordak. Hordak is the main villain of She-Ra.
Mm.
So it's pretty cool to see him. This is sort of a story about him trying to take over the multiverse. But man, the art's really good. Like Daniel HDR is an incredible artist. Colors are really good too. Um, but Timmy Shares is giving some background on the that staff with like the ram skull that Skeletor always holds. There's like
Yeah.
lore behind that in this issue. And I like myth and lore, so that was pretty cool. And then Hordak uh gets that staff and he's gonna try to do some evil stuff with it.
Can you say
But
evil like Skeletor?
some evil stuff with it. He-Man.
It tickles me.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. I'm gonna keep reading it because Tim Sheridan is a good writer. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Nice. All right, so Batman 148 by Chip Zdarsky with art by Jorge Jimenez. And yeah, I mean, I know how much Jake loves Failsafe, and he's just trade waiting. But you get a lot more, you get some more Failsafe fighting in this. And Batman fights him and fights Failsafe. Robin, like two of the Robins fight another Robin. And yeah, it's something. I mean, it's fine. It's Jason Todd dies. That's something that happens. And yeah, it's like that's basically how they outsmart Failsafe. They make Failsafe kill Jason. And then and then they're like, ah, hey, guess what? You thought he died, but he's still alive. It was one of those things.
No way.
And then, but this is like such an awesome last page. I like that a
It
lot.
is.
The story is just kind of like, ugh. Hopefully the failsafe stuff's done, but it's really not because I've seen the promo art for their next big event, and front and center is failsafe. So you thought he was done, but he's not. He's the new Batman who fucking laughs. I'm gonna go 5 out of 10
Yep. And you're still reading it for some reason.
because I have faith that it might get good,
How long into Zdarsky's Batman run are we and Failsafe is still the villain?
right?
I like at least a year, right?
More than that, I think more than that probably.
Yeah. All right. My last one before Muchi, we've got Birds of Prey number 10, by Kelly Thompson. And then guest art, which I was happy about, Robbie Rodriguez. Um, I loved it when he did those couple issues of Batgirls, so it was nice to see him do Birds of Prey as well. He just he knows how to make all the gals just so pretty. They're all just
Hmm.
so pretty. Um, so yes, we get some background info on whoever's in control of this pocket dimension, which is cool. So some of the gals have their powers and some don't. They're trying to fight, this creature that's in control of the realm. And that's pretty much it, really. Just more of that. Lots of cool fight scenes. Um, Canary's sister who got partially possessed by that demon in Themyscira during the first arc, I think is gonna have a little more to do this arc because she's like talking to that demon and trying to get her to give like some of her power up so she can fight this creature they're fighting. Lots of stuff going on, but it's pretty cool. Um, Dialogue's good too. I think this is probably my pick of the week. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I just really like this series.
Nice, man. So while we're on the Kelly Thompson train, Scarlet, issue 1 by Kelly Thompson and Marco Ferreira on the art. Art in this book is really good. I mean, like here's some Scarlet changing for Jake.
Hell yeah, brother.
But like yeah, we get Scarlet. She's doing this thing, and Jinx is there, and it's like it turns out her and Jinx are old friends, and yeah, they're just and it's like Jinx has been undercover for this long time, and then it's like the whole story. It seems it's like Scarlet is trying to get Jinx out from undercover, and she goes to the um ninja place that like Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes were both taught at. And that was like the spot where I kind of had my one problem with. It's like Scarlet should be awesome at certain things, but like already being like able to kill a ton of like I mean, I get that they're no-name ninjas, but like she killed all these like trained ninjas with a sword, which as far as I know, except for like in the Devil's Due comics, that's like those are the only ones I read. I read some of those where Snake Eyes was training her to get better at that because they were dating at the time. It's like it makes sense for that, but for her to already be this awesome when this is like the first issue, it didn't. I'm like, she shouldn't have been at that level. But then, like at the same time, like Storm Shadow shows up, and yeah, I mean, he bonks her when she's not paying attention. So it's like it didn't even. It would have been better if like Storm Shadow just took her out, and so it could show like Storm Shadow's at this other level. And if I remember right, too, Jinx should be a lot younger than Scarlet, but they're changing stuff up however they want with that. So that's not that big of a deal. But I like this a lot. I'm loving the G.I. Joe shit, man. I'm gonna go 9 out of 10.
Pick of the
That's my
week.
pick of the week, yeah.
Nice. Glad you liked it because I know you were most reserved about that one.
Yeah, I mean, and it's mostly just because she hadn't popped up yet in any of the G.I. Joe books. So like that's a weird choice, but
Yeah. Alrighty. Our final book is Bear Pirate Viking Queen, number 2, by Sean Lewis and Jonathan Marks Baravecchia. Um, I mean, it was every bit as weird as the first one, but I still like it.
yeah. I think I liked it more than the first one.
Yeah, I think I did too. I really like this art too. I know I said it the first time, but it's very Ian Wood, and I just love it. I think it's cool.
Now, do you still talk to Ian?
Every now and then,
You
very
should text him,
randomly.
just randomly text him about this because this seems like he probably already knows about it. But
Yeah, yeah, I should. But yeah, we're getting some more, background info on this character. He had a house in England a long time ago, so he fucking swims back to England with his bear to the house to get his dang old Viking power.
yeah, and then we also, find out that the his sister wives don't really care much for
Yep.
him. One's got power, like a lot of power, the other one doesn't have very much. And yeah, it just lets us in on enough of this stuff, and it's good.
And in a shocking turn of events, the Queen of England is evil.
I mean, let's just see how it plays out.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. My bad. Yeah, I still liked it a lot. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5, I think.
That seems like a good spot for it. But what are you excited for this week, man?
I'm gonna say Witcher, Corvo Bianco 2, probably Crocodile Black 2, and I'm pretty interested in the Gotham by Gaslight Kryptonian Age. That's the start of DC's new Elseworlds books, so gotta check that
Nice.
out.
Right on. Um, I gotta go with Godzilla Skate or Die, Green Lantern, and I'll just say Incredible Hulk. Okay, so this weekend we celebrated my birthday. My niece was there, and she was like, they were making her eat pizza before she could eat her cake and ice cream, and she went, "This is the worst day of my life," which she's like 3, so it's like, you haven't had that many days. But then she gets cake, and after she finally ate the Monocle's pizza, she then got cake and ice cream, and then she's like, "This is the best day of my life." So I just want 4 comics that your opinion changed on while reading it, where you went like, "I don't know about, I don't like this," to being like, "This is good," or "This is the worst to the best."
I tried to come up with two that were good to bad and then bad to good. So the first one, I hate to admit it, but Tom King's The Human Target is like the only book of his that I've enjoyed. And I read the first one. I'm like, I don't know about this, and I was fully ready to hate it.
Hmm.
And then, by the end, I was like, all right, fine, Tom, you wrote one good book. Um,
I think Smallwood helped a lot with his art, though.
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely
I'm
did.
just I'm just saying, I'm seeing pictures online. I'm like, that art is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one just for like the sake of something recent. I'm gonna go with She-Hulk. While we haven't been loving it so much lately, that's like a character I never really read before, and I was like, I don't know, I'll just try out She-Hulk and see. And then turns out I really liked it.
Hmm.
And then I read courtesy of Casey's family, I read All-Star Batman and Robin once, and I was like, I love Batman and Robin. And Casey's sister lent me that book and she said it was awesome. So I was like, this is going to be great. Jim Lee does the art. It can't be bad.
And you're like, Frank Miller. I've heard he does good stuff.
Yeah. And then you read All-Star Batman and Robin and you're like, holy shit, this is a top 5 worst comic I've ever read.
Hmm.
So that's on the list. And then finally, uh, I put Starman on there because while Casey hyped up that series before he gave it to me, I still had no clue or any expectations about that character or what to expect. So, many years later when I finally finished it, it's like, oh my God, you're right. This is one of the best comics ever written. Uh, it was just nice to go from who is this to this was fantastic.
Yeah, I get that. So I'll start with Immortal Hulk because obviously I mentioned that anytime I get the chance because it started off really strong and then it just kind of it just it I have a feeling. I'm just gonna say this right now. I have a feeling Al Ewing would have been like, it would have been nice to have ended this at like 35 issues. But then Marvel was like, no, let's keep squeezing them teats, Al.
Hmm.
So
I really don't blame him for that one.
yeah, so I mean it very well could. I mean, because I don't know, it just seemed like there was a lot of times where it was just getting drugged to get drug. Um, and then I'm trying to think of something that I wasn't super hot on, but I don't know. But speaking of like Tom, since you mentioned Tom King's Batman, it started off fine, and then it just became like, why am I still reading this? Because it had some of the worst dialogue I've ever read in my life.
Bat,
Cat
cat.
in a hat.
Just over and over and
Yeah,
over.
like holy shit. Um, and then I don't know. I'm trying. Oh, Wolverine. I pick just randomly picking up Wolverine because I was like, I want an X-Men book. I like Wolverine. And then Benjamin Percy's like, you're a 90s kid. This is gonna be your shit. And I'm like, Benjamin fucking Percy, you're right. Like I was telling that to Nick. I'm like, dude, you just need to read Benjamin Percy comics because it's like you read comics in the 90s. You're his target audience.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go IDW Godzilla's because like it's kind of like it's like this number because it's like, oh man, I love this. And then I'm like, oh man, this has been shit lately. And then and then it's back to being like, dude, this is awesome again.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, guys, that's the end of the episode. Closing plugs. Head on over to facebook.com/2 worlds podcast and give our page a like. You can also follow us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
Leave a comment down below about, you know, comics that your opinion changed on. And also, what's your favorite soda? Are you a Jake type where you're like, just tea for me, sir? Or are you a Casey where you go, give me all of them? Let us know.
All right, guys. Well, we'd love to stay in chat, but we have to go create a TV show about the leader or somebody. So we'll catch you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.